Howdy, folks. I'm Farron Wise. Thanks for joining Consuelo and Ethan on today's episode. We're pretty sure you'll find it interesting. Our producer, Toby Eunice, would like you to know that he's put a link in the description box below this video. The link will lead you to a comprehensive briefing document on today's topic. While you're watching, please take a moment to like our video and make a comment. Also, if you're not already, please subscribe to our channel and click the notifications bell to make sure you're informed when we release each new episode. Now, let's get on with today's program.
All right, let's dive into something that's got treasure hunters talking, like really buzzing about it.
You bet.
This phrase, the thinker's stone,
Yeah.
it's got everyone kind of scratching their heads, and I know you know all about this.
I've been looking into this for sure.
Yeah, so it's from John Collins Black, his book, There's Treasure Inside.
Right.
Well,
full of riddles and treasure maps and poems.
Yeah, it's like it's a puzzle within a puzzle, right?
It really is. And it's something that you can tell he put a lot of time and energy and thought into.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just about going out and digging something up. This
Right.
is really a mental challenge that he's laid out for folks.
Well, and, he was inspired by Forrest Fenn.
Absolutely.
And so it's almost like you can see that lineage, like you can see the connection there.
Oh, for sure. And if you look at, just the history of the treasure hunts, right? So
Yeah.
Fenn's treasure hunt was so captivating to people because it was a mental game as much as it was a physical hunt.
Totally. Yeah.
So this is right in line with that.
But here's the thing. We don't even know if the thinker's stone is like a real thing.
Right?
Like, is it a real stone or is this a metaphor for something else?
Well, and that's what makes it so fascinating, right? Because
Yeah.
we don't know if it's an actual literal stone or if it's something else.
I mean, it's in a poem, so maybe it is like a literary tool.
Right.
It could be a metaphor. Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, let's take a look at the poem itself.
Okay.
Because this is where the phrase appears, and it's really kind of, I think, a beautiful little poem.
Yeah.
It's the fourth stanza. It goes like this. Stop just beyond the camper's blaze. A thinker's stone is all you need. The spot is set with marvel gaze. A white mark shows upon the seat.
Even just hearing that, I feel like there's so much mystery there and a sense of place.
There really is a sense of place, and that's something that we see in a lot of these treasure hunt poems and riddles. Is this, this sense of being grounded in a specific place and using the natural world as these clues. Yeah, like those landmarks, and it's all kind of tied together.
Exactly. And then he throws in this thinker's stone phrase, and you're instantly trying to figure out what is he talking about here?
And is it more about like the process of thinking and like deciphering this stuff?
Right.
Is that the point, like getting to that aha moment? Or
I think it's both, right? I think
yeah.
it's the process of thinking, of
Right.
trying to decipher these clues.
Yeah.
But it's also the possibility that it could be an actual object.
Right.
So
It could be both, and it really does keep us on our toes trying to figure this thing out.
absolutely. And that's part of the brilliance of it, right?
Yeah.
It's this puzzle that he's created that can be interpreted in so many different ways.
Well, and I love that it goes beyond just like digging around.
Right.
Like, we have to really use our brains.
It's an intellectual pursuit.
Yeah, it's an intellectual pursuit. And I think that's what's so great about this.
Well, and it kind of elevates it.
Yeah.
It's not just about, finding some trinkets, right?
Right.
This is about a journey of the mind.
Totally.
About expanding your understanding
Right.
and challenging yourself in a way that maybe you haven't before.
Well, and it does make me think about alchemy a little bit.
Right.
Because the thinker's stone sounds like the philosopher's stone.
It's a play on words that's very deliberate, I think, on his part.
Totally.
Because if you look at the idea of the philosopher's stone,
I mean, turning lead into gold,
yeah,
maybe even immortality, right?
that's it. It's about transformation.
Yeah.
It's about, achieving something that seems impossible.
Right.
And so this idea of the thinker's stone being this key to unlocking something, something greater than yourself.
Totally.
It really does kind of tap into that alchemical tradition.
So is he saying that, like, the real treasure is the journey, the transformation that we go through?
I think that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
I think it's not just about the destination, it's about the process of getting there.
Yeah.
The challenges you overcome and the things you learn along the way.
Okay, so we've got the thinker's stone
Mm-hmm.
is like this metaphor for intellectual discovery.
Right.
But it can also be a real thing out there.
Right.
And now we're talking alchemy and personal transformation.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we're missing here?
Well, we touched on it earlier,
Yeah.
but I think it's worth circling back to Forrest Fenn.
Okay.
Because
Collins Black was inspired by him?
right, and Fenn was very adamant
Yeah.
that every single word in his poem
Right.
was deliberate
Yeah.
and had meaning.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at Collins Black's work through that lens,
Yeah, good point. And he's even using, he bought some of Fenn's treasures
right,
at auction,
Right.
and he's incorporating those into his own treasure hunt.
including the infamous olive jar,
That's
right?
right.
So, I mean, he's clearly paying homage to Fenn in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so I think it's safe to assume that he's also taking that same approach to language.
Okay.
That every word matters, every phrase is deliberate.
So this is not just a random catchy phrase he threw in there.
No.
This thinker's stone is really key to the whole thing.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so how are people in the treasure hunting community actually interpreting all this?
Well, the speculation is running rampant online, as you might imagine.
I bet, yeah.
You've got folks who are absolutely convinced that it's a literal stone,
Right.
and they're out there scouring the landscape,
Yeah.
looking for rock formations, unusual geological features, anything that might fit the description.
Yeah.
And then you've got others who are more on the metaphorical side. They're looking at it as a symbol
Yeah.
of intellectual enlightenment or a mental state that you have to achieve
Yeah.
in order to solve the puzzle.
Okay, so let's dive into some of those specific theories. All right. What are some of the craziest ones you've heard?
Well, one of the most common theories is that the Thinker's Stone is a unique geological formation.
Like what, a big rock or something?
Could be a rock, could be a cluster of rocks,
Yeah.
something that stands out from its surroundings.
And it would make sense with those natural landmarks in the poem.
Exactly, and those references to the landscape.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's one of the more popular theories.
Okay.
Then you've got folks who think it might be a monument
Oh.
or a marker related to famous thinkers or philosophers.
Oh, okay, like a hidden tribute.
Right, like maybe something connected to Plato or Socrates
Socrates.
or Aristotle.
It fits with the whole thinker thing.
Exactly, yeah. So that's another popular theory.
Okay.
And then you've got the folks who think that Collins Black himself
Yeah.
might have placed a marker
Oh,
as a subtle clue,
interesting.
something that would blend in with the environment, but stand out to someone who's really paying attention.
Like, is it a symbol or something? Like
Could be a symbol.
an inscription, a secret sign?
Okay, and what about that line? A white mark shows upon the seat.
Right. Well, some folks are convinced that seat refers to a specific rock formation
Okay.
and that the white mark is a literal marking on that rock.
Ooh, that's getting really specific.
It is.
All right, so we've got like literal stones.
Yeah.
We've got monuments, and then like Collins Black placing a marker or something like that.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got the folks who are looking at it more metaphorically,
Right.
and they're thinking, maybe it's a state of mind.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, a way of thinking that you have to achieve in order to solve the puzzle.
So there's no wrong answer.
Not until someone finds the treasure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
Until then, every interpretation is valid.
Mhm.
Every theory has the potential to lead to the prize. I wonder, though, does he give any clues beyond what's in the poem?
Well, Collins Black is very careful
Yeah.
not to reveal too much.
Yeah.
But he has said on a few occasions that the treasure is hidden in plain sight
Okay.
and that no digging is required to find it.
So maybe we're just not looking at it the right way.
Maybe, or maybe we're overthinking it.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's something so simple,
Yeah.
so obvious that we've just completely overlooked it.
That's a good point.
You know.
You never know.
So it's really a fascinating puzzle.
Well, and I do think that that's the whole point.
Yeah.
To make us think differently.
It is. It's forcing us
Yeah.
to look at the world from a fresh perspective,
Right.
to question our assumptions, and to really engage with the mystery.
Well, and people want that treasure.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a lot of money. Millions of dollars
Right.
worth of valuables
Yeah.
hidden in these chests.
Okay.
But it seems like Collins Black is trying to tell us that it's not just about the money.
Oh, he is for sure. And
Yeah.
he's often asked
Yeah.
why he doesn't just donate the treasure
Right.
to charity.
Right.
And his response is always that
Yeah.
he wants to create and experience
Right.
a challenge,
Yeah.
a sense of accomplishment
Yeah.
for those who participate.
Okay.
So it's not just about the money.
Yeah.
It's about, the journey,
Yeah.
the pursuit,
Right.
the mental and physical effort that goes into finding this treasure.
Like he's giving us a gift, but we have to work for it.
Exactly. He's not just handing it over.
Right.
He's saying, you got to earn this.
Yeah.
You got to use your mind. You got to be creative.
Yeah.
You got to be resourceful.
And that really does make it so much more than just finding, buried treasure.
It does.
We have to push ourselves mentally.
It's about pushing your limits. It's about expanding your horizons.
Yeah. And maybe we learn something about ourselves along the way.
And that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I think it's self-discovery as much as it is treasure discovery.
So to kind of bring this back, do you think the Thinker's Stone is more about the process?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Or is it about the outcome?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think you can't have one without the other.
Right.
The process of searching,
Yeah.
of deciphering clues,
Right.
of challenging your assumptions,
Yeah.
that's what ultimately leads to the outcome.
Mhm.
And the outcome itself,
Yeah.
the discovery of the treasure,
Yeah.
is the culmination of all that effort.
Yeah.
It's the tangible reward for the mental journey you've undertaken.
I love that it's like two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. You can't have one without the other.
You can't separate them.
Nope.
So for our listeners out there who are thinking about all this,
Yeah.
what's like the one big takeaway about this whole Thinker's Stone idea?
I think the key takeaway is that it's more than just a clue. It's a challenge.
A challenge to do what?
A challenge to think differently, to look beyond the surface, to question our assumptions about the world, and to embrace the unknown.
I'm starting to get it. It's deeper than just a clever riddle.
It is.
That's like a whole philosophical statement.
It's a statement about the nature of discovery,
Yeah.
of knowledge, of personal growth.
And I think that's really cool, especially in a world where everything is like instant gratification.
Right.
This is forcing us to slow down
Yeah.
and to really think.
It is. It's forcing us to engage with the world in a much more meaningful way.
It's funny. We've been talking about the Thinker's Stone this whole time, and we still don't know what it is.
And we may never know.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Is it a metaphor? Is it a real thing?
Right.
Is it both?
The mystery remains unsolved.
Yeah.
The answer is still out there.
What do you think Collins Black was thinking when he came up with this?
I think he wanted us to ask that very question. I think he wanted us to engage in this process of exploration and discovery.
Yeah.
I think he wanted us to experience the thrill of the chase,
Right.
the joy of finding something
Yeah.
that's been hidden from view.
So it's kind of a symbol for the whole treasure hunt itself.
It is. It represents the challenge, the mystery, the unknown.
And the fact that the journey is just as important as actually finding the treasure.
Absolutely.
All right. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave everyone with something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay. What if the Thinker's Stone isn't something you find, but something that you become?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, like it's that moment when you change.
Yeah.
Like you shift your perspective
Yeah.
and you start seeing the world in a different way.
It's like you become the Thinker's Stone.
Yeah.
You embody that spirit of curiosity, of intellectual engagement.
Yeah, like you become the thinker.
Exactly.
So everyone listening, keep searching.
Keep questioning.
Keep pushing yourself.
Keep pushing the boundaries of your own understanding.
And maybe you'll be the one to unlock the Thinker's Stone.
And discover those treasures.
All right. Until next time, happy hunting.
Happy hunting.
Well, folks, we hope you found today's video interesting and informative. Make sure to hit the like button if you did. Also, think about sharing it with another treasure hunter. And if you're not already a subscriber, please take a moment to do so now. We look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, and remember, there's a treasure out there waiting for you to find it.